What's up, guys? We are here with Chrissy in space, and today Chrissy hit a major milestone. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the milestone?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I guess a lot of you saw yesterday that I got $1,000 from Tiny Launch in a single day, and I guess that momentum kind of carried over. I've added another $500 in the past 24 hours, and yeah, I just realized today when we were working that I got 4,000 US dollars in the past 30 days, which is an incredible milestone, especially since revenue has been a little bit up and down. And now that's like a level that I never would have expected I'd hit. This is like a really major milestone for me.
Well, congratulations. So, effectively, your runway is now infinite.
Yeah, I mean, my whole philosophy from the beginning was to not have a runway. That's why I'm still having like a freelance job. It pays me like €1,000. It's not that much, but here in Asia and now, especially in Southeast Asia, that's enough to live. So everything is a bonus. Like I could stop my freelance job now and I'd be good for a while. But actually, it's also quite fun to, we're always trying to have like our freedom and work for ourselves. But I actually also enjoy working for other people and seeing that I actually help them and make them happy if I'm not dependent on it. Like I could leave anytime if I wanted to, but right now it's fun, so I think I'll stay.
I think the fact that you don't need that income makes you a better contributor also, because all of a sudden you're not like a yes man.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to express your opinion freely without being trying to appease your employer or customer.
Yeah, and I think I'm anyways in a very, lucky position. Like I've known them for close to 10 years and it's more of a friendship and I'm helping them out. And it's even right now, it's not really mostly the monetary incentive. Like I've known these guys for a long while. We're only 3 people, including me. And yeah, I'd like to see them succeed. And back then when I started, I just got into programming and I set up some systems that they're still using 10 years later and I'm maintaining them. And I feel like, I've known them for so long and they're using all my systems. So yeah, it's just fun to keep it going.
Sounds good. So I can imagine though there might come a point, especially I think it's a given that your product's going to keep growing with the effort and the attention that you're giving it, right? You might get to a point where it's no longer feasible to keep the freelance part. Mm-hmm. Is there a number in your mind that you think you might ditch the freelancing aspect of your day-to-day?
I think it's less like a monetary number. It's more like if I get so busy that Tiny Launch would suffer because I'm not putting in enough effort or like enough attention, then of course I would have to, find a different way. But, if I have the time and the motivation to do it, then I could see myself still helping them out from time to time at 10K a month. But, if Tiny Launch demands my attention, then that should take precedence.
Cool. Well, I think it's very inspiring the fact that you're able to get to 4K in a month. Is there a word of advice you give to people who are currently at a round number of $0 MRR? Is there anything you'd say to them? Is there anything you'd wish you'd known when you were at that stage?
I think the thing that made me succeed is that I always somehow believed that if I don't give up, it's going to work out in the end. And as we talked about, I never had like a runway, so I didn't feel like I have to finish this or I have to make it work in the next 12 months or I'm going to, have to get a job again. From the beginning, I was like, okay, I have all the time in the world. I'm going to try stuff. And I know if I keep trying, there's no way I'm not going to succeed. I don't care if it's in the next year or if I'm doing this for 5 years or 10 years. Like I believe if you show up every single day for years in a row, you're going to learn a lot. You're going to try different things. You're going to build your network. There's no way that you do your best for 5 years in a row and you're not going to make any kind of progress. And it's going to be different for different people. For me, maybe it's quite average. Like I failed for 2 years in a row and now I'm having some success. Some people I see their first product within weeks, they rise sky high, and I wish them all the best. And I'm sure there's some unlucky people who've been doing this for 5 years and they're still not there. But if they, if they believe and they don't give up and they do their best, I think it's gonna work. For me, it's like, just show up every day. It doesn't matter. You don't have to make major progress every single day. You have to be in the habit of showing up every day, sometimes reassessing, am I going in the right direction? And then just from being in that headspace every day and trying new things, I think most people would find success that way.
You heard it here. Keep going. Do not give up. Even if it takes 5 years, you gotta keep moving.
Yeah. That's like my thing that I tell people recently. Find a way to extend your runway. Like, my approach is, you start off in a 9 to 5, right? Yeah. And people try to build their product in the evening, but they're also tired. Like, I have so much respect for people who work after their 9 to 5. Like, I don't know if I would have the energy to put in that you need to make it work. But when you start off in a 9 to 5, my first step would be to somehow find a freelance job, because, it's very hard to get a product from 0 to 1 out of nowhere. It's much easier to somehow find a freelance job to just cover your expenses. And if you're very lucky, maybe they allow you to work quite low hours. So if you just make like $1,000 or $2,000 a month,
yeah,
that's infinite runway. You can get that, checked off 1 or 2 days a week. And then you can just put all the remaining time into your product. And then you can, like, without worries about your runway, you just, work on it. And when you find some success, you can get rid of your freelance job. And also, don't think that you have to invent the next big thing. You can do something that's already validated. Like, my thing that I put out in a newsletter recently is like, okay, you have your 9 to 5, you get a freelance job. What's the next step? You find a product that works and you just build it and market it. It can be like a very boring business, and then you replace your freelance income with that boring business. And then once you got income from your boring business and it's mostly automated, then you can build what you think, like, this is like my dream product, or this is what the world needs. And, there's no risk involved. People always quit their job and they hope they make it work. And if it doesn't work, like, they have to go back. But this is like a step-by-step system that I think for most people would work quite well.
I agree with you. I agree with you. You start off with your 9 to 5, and we're lucky that we're in IT, where just doing 10 hours a week would most likely cover your monthly expenses. Also, obviously depends where you are in the world. So then you transition into the contracting part, where you hopefully just do 10 to 15 hours a week and spend the rest of the day working on your product. And I think the initial stages require the most work, kind of like launching a rocket. And most of the fuel gets burnt in the initial stages to move the rocket. And obviously then, as you gather the momentum, it's much easier to keep moving.
A lot of us, or maybe also a lot of people watching this, they're on X sharing stuff. And one thing I see people struggling with when they start out, they feel like, I cannot share my revenue. I don't want to brag. I feel weird sharing it. And in the beginning, I also started off that way. But I think you gotta kind of flip that switch in your mind. I started getting some comments like, it's so inspiring to see you succeed. Like, I saw where you started and where you are now. And if you flip that switch from I'm bragging, which I never tried to do, to I'm helping people feel motivated. They see what's possible. Maybe they work harder because they also, want to see some success. And honestly, on X, sharing numbers, sharing results, that's what's going to make you grow. Usually your audience doesn't build your success with your product, but you gotta have some success with your product, and that's gonna grow your audience. That's been my experience. So don't be afraid to share your wins. We're all here to see each other win.
Certainly, people love to see you progress also. And no matter where you are in your journey, you may feel like you're an absolute newbie beginning it. There might be another person who doesn't even know how to code yet.
Yeah.
And you're already out there. Okay, you're still at 0 MRR, but you're building a product. So they might want to try and learn from you, like, what kind of IDE are you using? What kind of AI, LLM you're using to speed up your development? So whatever stage of the journey you are, I think it's worth sharing. And even not just to build up the following, but I think the main benefit that I've gotten from sharing on Twitter is meeting people like yourself. I think it's the most understated benefit of posting on Twitter.
And what you cannot forget is like right now, when you start out, you're like, who's gonna listen to me? Nobody cares. But if you make it, you're gonna be so happy that you recorded your whole journey for everybody to see. If you maybe recorded videos, you know, that's gonna be part of your documentary later. There's no downside to just...
It's so wild to me that like we literally met online. Like I think you were one of the first few people that interacted with me on the content that I started posting. And a few months later, here we are hanging out, like having coffees, getting lunch together.
I think I always underestimated networking a little bit. In my mind, like I had this prejudice, like people who network all day, they don't have anything else to do, like they're not building their product or anything. Like, but now I'm realizing that community is what, you know, keeps you going. If I hadn't started posting on X, I never would have met you or Rob or Mark or so many amazing people. And yeah, it's just fun to be part of the community.
Do you know what you said just made me realize that there's like different types of networking, and like what you said about networking that maybe is a bit sleazy. Like I remember going to networking events when I worked in London at a time, and you just go in there and try to get as many business cards as possible, and you're not really actually developing a bond or anything. People are just there to hand out the business cards which they paid for, and they just want to validate the reason, the fact that they got them printed and they served some purpose, but they haven't served any purpose because you actually haven't reconnected with anyone. Whereas here on Twitter, we are all bonding over the fact that we are on a similar journey. We have similar goals and similar interests, and hence this web network is more valuable. Also, having people on a similar journey, I think, helps you keep going for longer. Wait, we're getting picked out. That's so good. This was a good run, nonetheless. Sorry, Cap.
You booking this room or not?
No.
It's not you. It is for booking.
Oh, is it? Okay. How do we book it?
This is for reception.
You have to go to reception to book it.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you for this?
Use one of these. No problem. Okay, we're finished here anyway.
Okay.
Cool.
Sorry about that.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. We'll know for next week.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. That was good. Great job. So we got kicked out of the room, but it's all good. You know, sometimes you just have to chance your arm. We're not going to book a room just to have a conversation.
Not yet.
Not yet. Shout out to all our 12 followers.
I like that in our community we're not only following the big guys, but you know, there can be small accounts that just started putting themselves out there, being vulnerable. I know Andy just started recording daily videos, and he's not that confident in his English skill, but he still tried, and the community just supports him, and it's like, you know, it's relatable. If you're just starting out, most people are not at that high level yet. So if you're just starting out, don't feel like I have nothing to say. You're exactly what people, you know, can relate to. So there's no starting too early.
There's so many indie hackers whose English is not their native language, and that might be stopping a lot of people from putting themselves out there, starting speaking in front of the camera. And as Chris said, it makes you relatable and makes people want to engage with your content. So don't let that stop you, but at the same time, obviously, it takes a bit of courage.
That's what it takes, but it's not that scary. Once you get started, you're gonna see people are supportive, and maybe out of 1,000 people, you're gonna get one idiot, block him, move on. It's okay.
What's your current streak on the daily videos?
It must be 148 or 149. I think I'm one streak, like one day ahead of Rob from Super X, so I cannot give that up.
They can't break the streak. Okay, are you finding it easier to make these videos now that you're over 100 in?
Of course, yeah. In the beginning, you're like worrying about every small detail. Now it's like a rather quick thing. You just, you know, you can also cut out if you make a mistake. Like just, you know, start recording, talk from your talk about your feelings, about your mind, and then edit it in a way that's acceptable.
I say leave the mistakes in. I think it'll make the content more potentially viral.
True. But also, I made a video on that just a few days ago. Don't get complacent either. I always thought if I record every single day, I'm naturally going to get better, and in the end I'm going to be a professional. But you cannot just, record one video a day and expect to be a professional. You have to review, think what can I do better, what are other people doing, what's working, what isn't working. And if you put in that work, I think you're on a good path.
It's kind of like anything. You kind of have to review and reflect, and in order to try and get better.
Yep.
Okay.
You have to put in deliberate effort. I think that's what.
Deliberate effort. Yes, absolutely. A reflection also. There's one more thing I wanted to say, but it's escaping me right now. Is there anything else you'd like to mention before we wrap up?
Maybe we talked a lot about my milestone. What are you working on these days?
Yes, so for me, I am working on subtitles fast, and maybe as some of you might know from the video yesterday, I'm considering a pivot. I'm considering moving into video editing, and so that's something that's occupying a lot of my time currently. Wait for updates. I got some feedback from users. A lot of people would like to see a video editor that specifically for vlogs, like the ones that we do, that would enable LLMs to edit it or even propose an edit for a video. So it's just a matter of uploading your video and it gets done automatically. But we'll see whether that's possible with some of the open source models that are available to me.
If you're trying to build a following and if you want people to relate to you, don't be afraid to show your face on social media. If you can find it in yourself, maybe even start doing these daily videos that we're doing. And if you're recording your own videos and you need subtitles, check out Subtitles Test.
Shameless plug, I appreciate it.
From a very happy customer.
Well, thanks. Thank you for supporting me. Chris is always very good to offer feedback. So thank you for that, Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, this was like our first podcast style convo.
I thought it would be this is another example. You think stuff is so scary until you do it. I didn't think this would go well. I thought I would not know what to talk about, but I think it's been going quite well for our first ever episode.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we'll catch you next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye. Keep shipping.
Ship or die.
Bye, guys.
See you next week.